Hola, hola, testament. The movie for October 23rd. October 23rd was The Thing, not John Carpenter's The Thing, just The Thing from 2011. Um, yeah, this is hmm. It's weird, because people kind of trash on this one, or not even trash necessarily. I'd just say people, obviously that John Carpenter one, that one's on a pedestal, so iconic, right? Um, and that's kind of the problem with this movie. It's just like, why bother, to an extent, I guess. Like, obviously it's very like the whole movie just feels very like driven by committee sort of thing, right? Done by committee. Every single aspect of it that tries to do something seems a bit undercut, right? The thing I was thinking the whole time was like, man, this feels very like, if they were gonna make the thing now, um, it's it's just like the Hollywood look, right? Or not even a Hollywood necessarily, but just like commercial version of the thing. Um, Again, man, that original one's so iconic. I love that one so much, and I mean, I feel like it's very valid to have gripes about that one. I mean, you could say, oh, it's slow. It's you know, I feel like that's part of the main problem, right? Is that it's a bit slow, and you could complain that it's dated, but to me, and the reason why I like that movie so much is it's just like a vibe at the end of the day, sci-fi horror kind of thing. Uh, the actual like scene, or like scenery or like set is pretty cool. I love that like isolated feeling. I mean, especially with like all the snow and stuff, right? Um, it's kind of cozy, have a coffee, have a drink, and watch that movie, right? And just enjoy it for what it is. And then, I mean, obviously, like all the effects and stuff. Uh, so yeah, so pure vibe, honestly, for me at least. And that's why I enjoyed so much. And then obviously, you got Kurt Russell, Keith David, and like a lot of the other supporting characters, and a lot of them are just like sort of enjoyable. Um, but enough about John Carpenter's The Thing. Let's talk about The Thing. Uh, I mean, again, I feel like the main point I want to make is like, it just feels like very Hollywood to me, right? First of all, no more practical. We got CG. I feel like that's just like an industry thing, right? It's like, well, like it's modern. We gotta make it feel modern. What's like the most like modern way to do effects? Oh yeah, CG. So that's why we're gonna do CG. And I mean, like I've heard things about this movie before where like they actually did have like practicals and stuff like set up and ready to go, but again, it's just like a last minute change, right? Um, which is unfortunate because I think the designs are fine enough. It's just sort of undercut again just because it's in CG, right? And I mean, I say the designs are fine, but um, I guess that's really the best word, right? Like, they're serviceable for what the movie is. But obviously, again, comparing it to the thing, um, with the thing, everything about the creature, the thing, it felt super alien, right? It's just this like blob that can really be anything, and it was interesting in that regard. And this one, again, just like the Hollywood thing, right? It's like, all right, what's like when you think alien, what do we think? Um, oh yeah, just something a bit bug-like, bug-esque. Let's do that because I mean that's kind of what I was thinking watching this. It feels very very bug-like in a few ways. I mean, you think about like with the hand, it basically becomes like a little spider, like slight reference, I guess, to the head spider in the first movie. But I mean, this one, it looks more like a blend between like a leech and then just like legs, right? Um, and then what are some other things? I don't know if you'd call like a leech a bug. I guess I don't know. I don't know the criteria. Okay, I'm not a bug expert, but um, so there's that. I feel like a lot of the time, the creature will have like sort of like tendrils or like pincer type things, right? Not necessarily like crab pincer, but more like scorpion stinger sort of thing. That's how it does a lot of its kills. It'll like just sort of like reach in and like grab somebody with that. But I mean, again, just like makes me think of bugs. The way it moves around, very bug-like, crawls everywhere most of the time. And then the other thing too is like it's a little too humanoid, or it like takes the more human aspects for most of its body, and then it's just like a mouth here and there. I mean, again, going back to the thing I'll praise about John Carpenter's thing, it does feel alien. Um, and I mean, sure, there's like similarities where it's like, oh yeah, giant mouth. I mean, think uh, the original movie where like they're about to chest paddle that person and like the mouth spreads open from the stomach. There's something similar in this too, but those are the designs that it takes the most of. Very human looking tendrils, bug aspects to it, and oh, I mean, I just said humanoid, and then just like mouths. Like they like having like a big mouth on the creature a lot of the time. Honestly, the way the thing looks in this remake, it just reminds me of a lot of like Resident Evil sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Um, but I mean, again, with Resident Evil, it's like more zombies, so it sort of makes sense that those things are humanoid. In this, I mean, like the alien just embodies like more human aspects, and it's a bit boring, unfortunately, compared again to John Carpenter's thing. Um, I guess another thing too is like characters, right? I was trying to figure out where I've seen the pilot guy before. I mean, again, like in this one too, it's like characters are like serviceable. It's whatever. Obviously, like not as like interesting as like Kurt Russell's character or like Keith David's character, or just that dynamic that the entire group from the original has. In this, I mean, like they are like sort of like randoms more so than anything. In the first one, like the backstories are like kind of ambiguous, so like they're just working together and that's that. In this one, they try to set up like a lot more like camaraderie with the group, because most of them kind of know each other. Some of them are brought in, um, but it feels more like a proper just like group of scientists who have like known each other like in their field, so they've come together on this project. But they try to set that up, but I don't know, doesn't really feel like anything. You know what I mean? Um, but they really try their best to build up a lot of that. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the pilot guy in this. I was trying to figure out where I'd seen him from, and he's Lars, Uncle Lars from Star Wars, the prequels, and then the Obi-Wan show. Just that was funny. I was like, man, where's that guy from? And then obviously Mary Elizabeth. Thumbs up. That's all I can say. I like her, so I'll give it a pass. No, just kidding. No, but yeah, she's good in this. I'll give her that. Like she's doing a lot, and I can respect that. But yeah, everybody else just just going through it, uh, and going through the motions. That's like the other problem with this too. It's just like everything just kind of happens, and I mean, I've said that it's valid to say for John Carpenter's thing that it's a bit slow, but it's a good kind of slow. The slow burn they talk about, right? Um, with John Carpenter's thing, I mean, there's like the initial intrigue of like these guys shooting at a dog. It's like, huh, why are they shooting at the dog? And then everything else, like evolves very naturally after that. It's interesting. They'll introduce you to characters and stuff like along the way, but it all happens at like such a good pace. And I mean, in this, it's like the first 20 minutes of getting you introduced to the situation and introduced to one specific character, which is Mary Elizabeth's character, Kate, I think. She's a like paleontologist. Um, but yeah, so like that's like what the first 20 minutes of the movie is dedicated to, and I think the movie is about like an hour 40. uh, so really you have like a hour 20 of like proper movie, and I'll be fair, once it gets into it, it's in it. So I mean, there's that, right? um, so I guess that's like a light positive in that regard. um, and I mean, people will complain about the CG, and in places, yeah, it doesn't look that great. Like specifically, the one I think looks bad is whenever they're in the helicopter and the guy's face splits. That looks especially bad, but um, for the most part, I mean, it's fine. I mean, again, like that's why I think like there's a lot of like contempt for this movie, is just because it's fine. They weren't trying to like reinvent the wheel or anything. They were just, again, like by committee, right? People were saying, well, we got to do this, right? Let's do that, and they do it. You know, um, sort of just like pleasing nobody at the end of the day, or you know, trying to like appease like the bottom level horror fans. I mean, again, like so bizarre, man. I don't know why you know, companies will do that, or the industry as a whole will do that sometimes. Just remaking like a classic of any kind, like reboot, whatever you want to call it, um, and then just doing not even the bare minimum, just slightly less than the bare minimum to appease the I guess the casual fans, right? It's weird, like this movie going audience that doesn't exist anymore. And I mean, back then obviously would have existed, but you know, I'm speaking like then and now, uh, because like the trends repeat. Um, yeah, so I mean, again, like this is a movie that just doesn't really like do anything, and when it tries to do anything outside of the original, it seems almost like too much. You know what I mean? Like one of the things I think about, especially like that's new added, is this like emphasis on the alien ship, and then at the end of the movie, or like, you know, towards the end, like we actually see the alien ship like, you know, light up, about to take off. And I mean, in the original, that wasn't really important. You know, it like it crashes. Uh, you know, you assume the thing leaves and freezes in the Arctic or wherever they are, and and that's all that really matters. You know what I mean? The ship doesn't matter. In this one, it's like the thing goes to its ship because in the original, the thing was trying to rebuild its ship. You know, and then obviously in this one, it's like the ship is just like this giant, like almost like Tron-esque vehicle, right, with like the blue lights. That's what I was thinking. But you know, it's like very Hollywood. It's like, oh yeah, big ship makes a lot of noise. It's gonna take off now. The blue light coming from the ship, sort of thing. You know. Uh, Again, like it like that's just an aspect of the story that never really mattered. What mattered was a group of characters trying to survive. And when this movie is doing that, it's fine. It's just like a, you know, decent thriller. And and I, you know, I keep coming back to the point, but that's like the problem. It's just fine. And I mean, compared to other things out there, and then obviously compared to the thing that it's you know, taking its name from, like that's a problem to just be fine. Um, you know, but I feel like if this movie wasn't even called The Thing, it, you know, it might have had like its little niche audience, without a doubt, right? Um, but yeah, it's unfortunate. It just doesn't really do anything like overtly special, or you know, the things that it tries to do that's like unique. It's just like a slight ape off the original. You know, thinking about the like the test scene, right? Like they try to do the blood test, but then they like burn it down. And I mean, you know, just like in the original, right? They try to do a test. Somebody breaks the evidence, and it's like, well, we can't do the blood test no more. And I mean, in the original, they do like an impromptu blood test. In this one, it's like looking for the inorganic material like around the mouth, which I mean, interesting concept, but uh, I mean, I don't know. That one actually works in my head. I feel like that one's different enough, right? And it's like sort of taking a different angle on the thing. Um, as you can see, I'm kind of being like a bit of an apologist on this one. But that's only because I mean, just like hearing so much like about this remake specifically, and obviously like adoring the original. This just like isn't as bad as people are saying it is, honestly. And I mean, like going back to the point for the fourth time now, it's just the fact that it's okay. I think is people's like biggest problem. And then again, also just people holding John Carpenter's thing like on this pedestal. Um, which I mean, again, like no problem with that, right? Um, but I don't know. I guess like this is just more commentary on like the way people will. I don't know what's the word. I guess just like discourse, right? The way people will like conduct like discourse, like especially with movies and like beloved movies. Everything's always kind of blown out of proportion, you know. Like take it case by case, man, and just like, you know, see this movie for what it is, like what it is and what it's doing, and you know, like you'll come to the conclusion like, yeah, it's fine. But again, people like try to drag it way down, like in the mud, just because it's, you know, just because like there is an original that is better, right? Uh, but I don't know. Me personally, I'd recommend it. I'd say watch it. I mean, especially if you love the thing. I mean, if you love The Thing, you've probably already seen this, right? Just to make your own comparisons. And I mean, I feel like a lot of this, like talk with you guys, like has been comparisons, and they say, like just to quote something, right? Comparison is the thief of joy, but I think there's a lot of joy that can come from comparing things, and not even like in a negative light, but just to say, oh yeah, this and that was different, or like this is something similar to this, but it's nice that they tried to do something, with like some of the examples I gave throughout. Um, I think it can be a fun time. I mean, I say it all the time, right? Like, like if you can watch movies with people, talk about them, right? Relate them to other things, like relate them to your own life if you can, right? Um, but I'll recommend this movie on the basis, like, if you've seen the original and you've never seen this one, I'd say just watch it at this point. Um, you know, and just kind of go in with like an open mind and like try to form your own opinion, right? Or even if you're just looking for a decent thriller, want to kill an hour 40, go ahead. I mean, I always say it too with movies that are like kind of like in the middle. Watch it with friends, family, have a drink and watch it. Just enjoy it. Yeah, because I mean, again, like for me personally, this wasn't even that bad. And I mean, with like everything I've ever heard, I'm thinking like, man, this is gonna be like, you know, like one of the worst movies. Not necessarily of all time, but just like a bad movie. But it's not even like a bad movie. It's just an okay movie, and again, that can be a problem. Um, but yeah, so like light recommendation on this one. Personally, enjoyable enough. Uh, but yeah, take care.